The idea here is that Reaper just has all of his abilities, I think, kind of tuned for Overwatch 1. I think that there has been just a power creep with hero abilities, and if we're not going to nerf other heroes, then he does need buffs. Not to damage, but to the utility of his abilities. Let's start with Teleport. I want to talk about all of his abilities, but let's start with Teleport. Why am I going to teleport to the railing in front of me when I'm clearly trying to teleport onto the pad in the background? If I move my cursor up a hair, a millimeter, it's gonna be there. This doesn't make sense. I'm above the platform in the background, and it's still pointing to the railing in front of me. What? Fix. Do fix. Please fix. This is helpful for no one. Nobody playing Reaper, nobody in video game history, no human alive would intuit that pointing above the platform behind the railing will have me teleport to the railing in front of me. I don't know what gameplay logic, what business logic is at play here, but it's wrong. It's just broken. It's not programmed correctly. So, as far as I know, at least for deployables, they use AI navigational mesh as the guide for where things can be placed. I assume the same is true for teleporting. I assume it looks at the AI mesh and it tries to place a capsule wherever it's pointed, and if it can't, then it says you can't teleport there. If it's not within the navigation mesh, then you can't put it there. But we've already proven that there is a navigation mesh over there. You can place it there. It is a valid place to teleport. So the other thing I'm thinking, there must be some business logic in the teleport that says, all right, you can't teleport through something. So we want to make sure that this capsule is also able to go through whatever object you're kind of around. We want to make sure that you can go through this gap that you're looking through. Maybe it's a tiny window, and they're saying, well, yeah, but we don't want you to be able to go through tiny little gaps. So, yes, you can see a platform in the background. Yes, it's navigable terrain, but we don't want you to be able to go through. We're trying to say that you can only go through Reaper-size holes. This is wide open. This is wide open. If I look down, if I make the angle to the railing in front of me even more shallow or acute, it's still going to be navigable. So if I tilt down a little bit, I'm looking at the thing in the background. I am able to teleport to the thing in the background. Why on planet Earth does pointing up put me on the railing? It's broken. When I'm trying to escape a fight, I'm pointing at a thing. It needs to be more intuitive than that. It just needs to be more intuitive than that. I'm not a bad Reaper player for sometimes messing up my teleport because of things like this. It's just bad. It's just broken. It needs fixing. So, that's one thing. Another is what I was showing earlier, where sometimes there's just teleport dead zones. I mean, here's one right now. I'm pointing at a platform in the background, and lest you think that I'm not pointing enough at the platform in the background, because I'm not pointed down enough. I mean, I might be able to do that too. I just want to make sure that this is also valid. So I'm going to just go to the right slightly. I'm not going to go any down. Just to the right slightly. It targets that platform. I'm going to go to the left slightly. I am still very much hovering over that platform. But it's targeting nothing. If I click my primary fire, which is my teleport button, does nothing. So in the heat of the moment, I whip around. I happen to target one of these dead zones. I'm just not teleporting anywhere. I'm gonna keep drifting to the left. Keep drifting to the left. Keep drifting to the left. Interesting that it's not letting me teleport on top of this platform. Maybe this platform just isn't, it's not a valid navigable mesh, so I can't teleport on top of it. I adjust it just a hair. I'm teleporting on top of this thing. Why do I have to be so exact? There's no logic to it. I'm not pointing at this object, and that's why I can teleport onto it. It's still like it's trying to place a capsule on top. There's still some sort of hit detection going on and probing with like some capsule. Maybe there are rays going. I don't even know how they're doing it. But clearly this is something I can teleport onto. But like pointing at it, maybe that's just not how it's done. That makes sense to me. I don't think you should point at the object necessarily that you want to teleport on. You want to point at or near the surface. That's the idea. But I'm now pointing at or near the surface. Nothing. And now I'm thinking sometimes, like, maybe I'm too close. You can teleport on top of yourself. There's no, like, minimum distance. I'm pointing at the top of this object, at the surface, at or near the surface. This bit right here is just not valid. So if I'm pointing here, I'm going nowhere. If I'm in the middle of a fight and I aim at the top of a surface that's slightly above me, I'm not going there. I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to die. Slightly above it, not going to do it. Even more slightly above it, you're going to go. Well, this is just another example of, like, I'm pointing at something in the background clearly, but no, I'm going to go somewhere in the foreground. And there's no logic to it. Look at it. It's like vibrating between sources, even though I am not at all going closer to the platform thing in front of me than the thing in the background. So I'm not a bad Reaper for messing up my teleport. Like, I'm going to accidentally teleport 2 feet in front of me instead of going in the background where I obviously want to go. It needs to be fixed. It's just broken. There's a third thing wrong with teleport. The wispy smoke sticks around for a moment after it's no longer a valid target. I like that. That's a fine thing aesthetically, cosmetically. But I think it should also be a gameplay thing. I think it should buffer the last location that you were targeting, at least for half a second, a quarter of a second, something. Because I'm like, sometimes you pull out your teleport and you're like, all right, I know that I'm gonna like come over here and I'm gonna teleport up there. Now I've got it down pixel perfect because I'm a good Reaper. I play Reaper a lot, and I know that it's very exact. You have to get to where you're gonna be a valid TP target, immediately click, and you're gonna TP up there. And I do that because sometimes I want to teleport around a corner and kind of get into cover, you know? And maybe they're worried about people doing that and abusing it and kind of getting too far around the corner. I don't know. But it would be really nice if you didn't have to. So I'm going to get a valid TP target. So that may not seem like much. I hope you could hear the clicking. Maybe I'll try to enhance it in post or something when I post this on YouTube or whatever. But it may not seem like much. But when you're in the heat of a fight and you just want to teleport somewhere and you see the thing come up and you accidentally like drift down here or something like that, and you just don't teleport, and you kind of have to, like, especially if you're moving and like the thing's up there, and you're wobbling between, and you keep seeing it pop up, and you're clicking madly, and you're just not teleporting, that is maddening. That needs a quality of life fix. It's just not good enough, you know? It's not fit for purpose. This whole feature is not fit for purpose, in my opinion. Okay, so that's everything that I know about teleport that needs to be fixed. I think teleport is the most broken feature of Reaper's kit. Before we do move on to Wraith, this isn't a aspect of teleport that's broken. But it is a quality of life thing that I think, for balance reasons, should be included in the teleport. Okay, so I've been following somebody, and they use their movement ability to get away from me. So I'm like shooting after somebody. They use their movement ability to go high ground. I teleport to follow them high ground. Bang, shoot them once. Oops, I've got to reload. Meanwhile, they've been shooting me in the head. Can he reload when he teleports? Is it really so much to ask that I can shoot Wraith, it immediately reloads for me? I understand intuitively that traveling as Reaper reloads me. I've got a full clip again. I teleport, I immediately reload. Can he just reload when he teleports? Come on. Like, he's a flanker, and yet they're not enabling his flanks with his teleport. Anyway, so back to Wraith. Wraith is not broken, but I think it could use some improvements. So let's say I'm following standard bot around a corner. I want to start shooting him in the head. It took me like 3 manual clicks, and I wasn't even clicking that fast to begin shooting him. Following him around a corner, click, 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 click. All right, it's like on the 4th click, I finally shot him. Why is there such a down period? You know what I mean? For Reaper to begin shooting. I don't think Kiri has that. When she teleports and she immediately leaves a fight or immediately joins a fight. Like if I'm fighting somebody else, a Kiri immediately joins by teleporting next to me. She can immediately start shooting. She can immediately just start shooting me in the head. Me, I come into the fight. It takes me forever to begin firing. So this is just a quality of life thing. I don't know if this is something that they've done for balance reasons. Probably. But it seems like for Overwatch 2, when things are a little bit more fast-paced, and certainly there's much more power creep. If you're not going to nerf other heroes, then give him a little bit of quality of life power creep. And that's, you know, when I'm wraithing, I just want to be able to start shooting faster. Because other heroes can shoot me faster. That's it. That's the whole thing. Alright. And the other one is Blossom. Again, for his primary fire, his damage is fine. For Blossom, I kind of think his damage is fine. I don't want an increase of power there. I don't want an increase of damage. But I ran through every hero in the roster, and I think there are only 6 heroes that can't immediately escape my ult or kill me easily. There are just so many heroes that you can't account for all the cooldowns and ultimates that can be thrown at you when you start to Blossom. So, it would be a really nice quality of life improvement is if you start blossoming, if I could just manually get out of it. You know? Like Hog. Hog starts whole hogging, and then if a Genji deflects in front of him, he can stop. He can stop whole hogging and be like, oh, yeah, that doesn't make sense to keep whole hogging in front of him. Well, I'm essentially whole hogging in every direction. I can't just aim away, which the Hog could have done. But they gave him the quality of life improvement of allowing him to stop. I think you should allow the Reaper to stop. You know? I want to start blossoming if I see the Genji start deflecting in front of me or the Diva coming over and DMing me and allowing their entire team to just take pot shots at me because I can't move anymore. Instead of that, allow me to just say, oh, okay, I'm in a bad situation. Stop. I stop blossoming. I wraith away. I lick my wounds and say, wow, that just wasn't a great blossom, but at least I'm alive. That would be a great quality of life improvement. That's it. I think that sound is the sound that all Reaper mains make when they try to kill people, when they try to teleport away, because they couldn't kill that person, and they fail to, and they end up dying. That's it. I think Reaper just needs a bit of quality of life, and he'll be great. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it. If you enjoyed the video, if you thought that it was interesting, thought-provoking at all, or even if you thought that I was stupid and terribly wrong in all of my opinions, like the video. Leave a comment and tell me why you thought that. And consider subscribing. Thanks. See you in the next one.